Last year's iPad Pro range brought significant changes to the flagship iPad Duo, as well as an upgraded mini LED display on the 12.9-inch model. Apple introduced its desktop-class processor, the Apple M1, to the range, allowing the tablets to perform tasks usually exclusive to MacBooks and iMacs. Impressive though that was, Apple is hard at work on the next iPad Pro ranging behind closed doors. With the iPad Pro 2021 now around a year old, Apple is expected to release an update soon, though not as soon as some might hope. It's not quite as clear-cut as the Apple Watch or iPhone, which tend to launch in September every year, but there is a vague first half of the year schedule over the past few years. However, it looks like the trend is set to change in 2022 with no mention of the iPad Pro at Apple's March 2022 event. Instead, it focused on the iPad Air 5, iPhone SE 3 and new Mac Studio, with Apple's Pro range set to take center stage later in the year. Some might have hoped that WWDC 2022 would have been a candidate. It did announce the new MacBook Air and the M2 chip after all, but the Pro-level iPads were a no-show. Twitter leaker Dylan Katie suggested in a now deleted tweet that the iPad Pro is coming in the fall or autumn to those in the UK, and Bloomberg's Mark Gurman agreed months later in March 2022. Speaking in his Power On newsletter, Gurman suggests that the launch will take place between September and November this year, mirroring the 16 to 18-month gap that Apple tends to follow for its Pro releases, aside from the 2021 update that is. Interestingly, a report from Bloomberg in early August suggests that for the first time ever, the release of iPad OS 16 have been delayed from its usual September release to October. Bloomberg sources believe it's to coincide with the release of new iPad hardware, which is all but confirmed to be the new iPad Pro range, lending more weight to an October reveal. Following on from this, 9 to 5 Mac sources also confirmed an iPad-themed event taking place sometime in October, specially mentioning the reveal of 2 new models of iPad Pro and the new 10th generation iPad. With all that said, it seems we shouldn't expect the release of the new iPad Pro range until October. Apple wouldn't want to overshadow the release of the iPhone 14 after all, and it made no mention of the tablets at its Far Out event on September 7. With Tim Cook saying, "We are here to talk about 3 products that have become essential in our lives: iPhone, AirPods and Apple Watch." Apple has spent past years syncing the design language of its product range with the iPad mini 6 and iPhone 13 sporting the same industrial, angular look as the iPad Pro range. With that in mind, we don't expect Apple to redesign the wheel, or more appropriately the iPad Pro with its 2022 refresh. There will be a range of new features of course, and the rumor mill has been churning away. The new 14.1-inch iPad Pro is a little out of the left field, but it could be potentially very interesting. Rumors are circulating that claim Apple could be working on an iPad Pro larger than the 12.9-inch variant currently available. While some scoffed at the idea of an even larger iPad than the behemoth that is the 12.9-inch model, it seems like there could be truth to be rumored. In fact, Rose Young, display analyst at DSCC, got more specific recently, claiming that Apple is working on a 14.1-inch iPad Pro with a mini LED display and super smooth 120Hz ProMotion technology. Young has a great track record when it comes to display-related leaks, nailing previous Apple flagship iPhones and iPads months ahead of release, so there could be something to the rumor. Young isn't the only leaker that believes Apple is working on an even bigger iPad Pro either. Twitter leaker Majin Wu has also released details suggesting it could pack the Apple M2 chipset alongside 512GB of storage and 16GB of RAM, though the tipster isn't quite as reliable with a hit and miss track record. Interestingly, Young notes that the 14.1-inch model isn't due until sometime in 2023, which clashes the current rumors of a September or October 2022 announcement for the M2-powered iPad Pro range. It's possible that Apple could reveal all three models at the same event later this year and simply delay the release of the largest model until early 2023. But we will have to wait and see for now. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, feel free to share it with your friends and keep watching Review Arena to get your top-notch day-to-day commodities news.